If you stay in a hostel room with 8 people, game over. You're not going to get a good sleep. That's almost guaranteed. Um, Hi again. Oh, after spending all summer in the UK, or nearly all of it, I'm finally going back to Poland. Gonna go to Krakow for a few days. I've never really done a Krakow blog, so I've decided I'm going to do one while I'm there. Hopefully I'll find some interesting places other than just walking around the old town and admiring the architecture. Yeah, so let's see how it goes. I'm at the airport now, so about to get on that plane. Okay, so I've arrived in Krakow, making my way to the place where I'll be staying, and yeah, it's not so simple. Well, it is simple. You just got to take a bus and then a tram if you want to take public transport from the airport. So I chose not to get a taxi because I'm tight. No, maybe I am tight, but I like to think that I'm just sensible with my cash. Okay, so I've arrived in the city centre, and just to actually display the extent of my frugality, I'm going to confess that I'm actually staying in a hostel tonight, which I haven't done in ages, and there's nothing wrong with hostels. I've stayed in them plenty of times before. I don't see a problem with them. All comes down to the people that you're sharing the room with. I'm sharing in a, I don't know if it's a 5 or a 6 bed room, so it should be okay. There's a nice church in front of it, so at least there's that. Oh, it's not a church, it just kind of looks like one. There's a lot of stairs. I think I should have took the elevator. Alright, so what you just seen there is my bed for the night, and it might look like I'm leaving the hostel like in disgust or something, but I'm not. I think it's perfectly fine. I talked to the guy briefly who's going to be sharing my bunk, and he seems like a sound guy. So that's all good. I'm just going to go out for a little bit and enjoy some Krakow night air because it's quite late. It's nearly 10:30 here now, and I just want to have a little walk about because it's been a while since I've been here. Haha, I feel like that was the worst sightseeing tour ever, but in my defence, it's been a long day. I'm tired. I'm going to get some sleep in that hostel, hopefully, and then I'm going to bring you guys back into the centre tomorrow in the beautiful daylight when we can see everything properly. Good morning. It's a beautiful day, so I'm going to head into the city. We'll have a little walk around, get some footage there, and maybe go a little bit outside of the city because I'm having second thoughts about where I'm staying, so might switch it up and stay somewhere else tonight. We'll see. Such an aesthetically pleasing city, isn't it? Right, what I was saying earlier was that I'm thinking about changing rooms, and the reason is last night there was a girl in the room and she was like coughing all night, kept everybody awake in the room. She was definitely very sick. I don't know if it was COVID or what, but should really go and see a doctor, and it just gave us all a bad sleep. I had a terrible sleep because of it. I'm sure everybody else in the room did. So I've come a little bit outside of the city now because I'm going to change and go to a different hostel. I've upgraded. I'm going to go and stay in a deluxe hostel. So we'll see what that's all about. It's close by to this place, which has a train outside. Looks like the one from Back to the Future 3. Thought it was pretty cool, so I thought I'd show you. Yeah, so let's get into this new hostel and I'll let you know what that's like instead. So the hostel is next to this park. I thought I'd have a little wander through before I check in. I really like how every city in Poland has lots of these little parks. It's like other countries you go to, the cities, yeah, they have a couple of parks. In Poland it seems like each city has lots of little parks and a couple of big ones too, which is great. Right, let's go and check in this place, see what it's all about. Okay, not really sure what that's all about. And another seductive looking sculpture. So this looks to be the place. So it's open. This one looks way posher than the other one. Let's check out the kitchen. Right, and this is my room. So there's somebody else staying here. And maybe two people by the looks of it. Try and look at the bathroom. It's got an ensuite. Very good. Right, and this bed looks like it's not being used, so there'll be 3 people, including myself, in here tonight. Hopefully, I'll almost definitely get a better night's sleep. Good morning. So I'll be checking out today. It's my last day. One of the guys in the room has already left. They left early this morning. Woke me up slightly, but they were very quiet and considerate, which was good. Nothing worse than staying in a hostel where people just don't have any consideration for the other guests in the room. Just thought I'd share some of my other overall feelings about staying in hostels, since I've stayed in quite a few now. It's been a while since I've been in one before these two, but I do have a plethora of experiences in other hostels as well around Europe, so I thought I'd share my thoughts. So basically, a couple of little tips I'll start with is make sure that if you want to have the best sleep that you can, make sure that you stay in a room that has the least people. This one only had 3 people, so I mean, it's not guaranteed that you'll get a good sleep, but it's guaranteed that you'll get a better sleep than you would if you stayed in a hostel room with 8 people. If you stay in a hostel room with 8 people, game over. You're not going to get a good sleep. That's almost guaranteed. Another thing that I'd suggest is make sure you get a bed that is as far away from the door as possible. When I got this room, she put me in the bed near the door. I went back to the reception. I said, can I have the bed at the other end of the room? She was fine about it. One good thing about this place was that they're not bunk beds, because when you stay in hostels with bunk beds, when the guy above you or below you gets out of bed, it shakes the bed usually. It shakes the whole bunk bed, and that will wake you up if you're trying to sleep. Well, it depends how much of a deep sleeper you are, but for me as a light sleeper, it would always wake me up. So it's usually worth paying the extra pound or dollar or two to have less people in the room, because it's usually not very much more to get one of those rooms. Also, if you're going to stay in a hostel that has a bad review, make sure you take your own padlock, because they'll probably try and charge you. They might even try and charge you for the sheets. So you might want to take your own sheet. That's why it's nearly always better to get a hostel that has a review of about 8 or 9 out of 10. That way, usually, as far as I remember, they never charge you for having to get a padlock for the locker or the sheets or doing like any tidying or anything like that. And usually the ones with a higher rating usually give you some kind of free breakfast or tea and coffee and stuff as well. Whereas the lower ones, you're really getting what you pay for, in my experience. Sometimes you get a little diamond in the rough where it's like it's had a bad review, but it's actually not that bad. But usually it's not worth the risk. Uh, Anything else that I'm missing? I mean, on the whole, staying in hostels is a fun experience. You meet people that you probably wouldn't have if you'd stayed in an Airbnb or a hotel. Like the people are on the same wavelength. They're tourists. They're traveling. They want to make friends. It's easy to talk to people, and usually everybody's friendly. I was talking to the guys in here yesterday. They were really friendly. So that's one major plus point. Yeah, the biggest downside is just the sleep. You know, it's more often than not you're not going to get a good sleep. But saying that, I have had really good sleeps in hostels, so you just never know. It's very much a kind of look of the draw. Yeah, I think that's about it. So, if you're going to stay in any hostels, maybe comment in the doopity doop. Let me know what you think. Maybe I've missed something that you've experienced yourself and you want to comment about it. And yeah, today I'm hoping that the sun's going to come out. I'm going to have a little sit in the sunshine before I have to go to Warsaw. I'm on a bus today to Warsaw. So that's where I'll be heading next. Stay tuned for the next video. And yeah, hope this helps some of you guys out there. Alright, I think that just about sums up this little trip to Krakow. Hope you've enjoyed this little vlog, and if you have, please hit the like button, because, you know, helps the algorithm and all of that. And if you want to subscribe, you can do that. That's entirely up to you. Hopefully I'm going to see you in the next video. See you later, guys. Ciao.